Can he win? That's the question. Spencer Pratt as mayor of Los Angeles. Can he? Yes. Will he? I don't know. The city's freaking nuts. But what a debate last night. Let's talk about it. Here we go.
Let's go.
And of course, we got the Hantavirus on the cruise ship, and they are desperately trying to hunt down now the contacts of a Swedish man who has the virus. And there are 3 states in the United States that are monitoring people who are on a ship who got sick, potentially symptoms. And I don't know, man. Sounds a lot like 2020, eerily so. But we'll talk about that as well. Or maybe it's just more fear-mongering by the media. All I know is when the World Health Organization tells me to worry, I don't worry. When they tell me not to worry, I worry. Basically just do the opposite. That's what I've decided. I'm just going to do the opposite of what the World Health Organization says, and then I'll be fine, because they are crooked liars under the control of China, and that's the bottom line. But we got Jack Carr coming on the show a little bit later today, and I'm very excited about that. Jack Carr is the man. His new book, The Fourth Option, is coming out in a few days. I will be with him tomorrow night in Long Branch, New Jersey. Give you all the details as the show goes on today. Please subscribe and like the show while you're here. We would appreciate it very much. All right, so let's start with this debate last night that they had in LA. And look, Dana Perino asked me the other day when I was on Newsroom, shameless plug, can he win? And I said, yes, he can. Now, that does not mean I'm predicting he will win. It's Los Angeles. It's Chinatown, Jack. It's anybody's guess how honest and how fair this election is going to be. They will do everything possible to make sure that he doesn't win. And of course, it's also a city littered with crazy people, but it's a county in addition to that. And a lot of people in the county are sick and tired of what's going on in the city. So there's a lot going on, a lot to unpack here. But I want to begin with because the big issue is the fires that happened, the Palisades fires. And it goes to the heart of Democrat incompetence, whether you see it with the wildfires or you see with energy policies, energy prices, et cetera, crime, homelessness. I mean, the compelling theme across the country right now is that Democrat-run places don't work, they're not affordable, and people don't want to be there anymore. Hell, there's even a clip of Katie Porter admitting that people are leaving Los Angeles or leaving California. And people don't want to be in Democrat-run places anymore. Democrats keep winning in those places because they're Democrat places, which is why I can't make a prediction Spencer Pratt's going to win. The betting market says he's going to lose, and Polymarket is always pretty accurate with this stuff. But then again, he's running a 10 out of 10 campaign. I mean, it's a really solid campaign with great ads, visuals, talking directly to the voters, focusing on the issues that matter to voters. And his messaging is spot on as well. So we'll start with cut number 4. This is a back and forth with the current mayor, Karen Bass, over the wildfires. There's a lot of this that happened last night. Take a watch.
To the mayor, Karen Bass's, the 1,000 firefighters that were available, but there was no engines for them because of the $17 million that Chief Crowley had asked the mayor for 9 weeks before. And Mayor Karen Bass denied it. So they may have been available, but they didn't have the equipment they needed. Not to mention Janice Quinones, who Mayor Karen Bass put into her position of power at the LA DWP. She drained both of these reservoirs that these firefighters needed to put out these fires. A lot of people will talk about climate change and hurricane force winds. The winds in the Pacific Palisades never reached higher than 40 miles per hour. For those first 6 hours, they didn't go above 27 miles per hour. So without those 2 reservoirs filled with 117 million gallons and 5 million gallons, these firefighters had to fly all the way to Malibu and Encino to get water. So that, to me, is the most dangerous thing that the mayor put us up against.
Mr. Pratt, a follow-up here, though. What would you do moving forward that would make this better 2 years from now if we face the same situation?
Fill the reservoirs.
As mayor, I will never drain the reservoirs that we need for wildfire protection. There's this conspiracy now that they're empty, that they were for drinking water. But if you research it, they were actually made for wildfire protection. As mayor, I'm going to add 20 dip sites all around the communities connecting to pools. So God forbid the water system goes down again, these dip sites that'll be connected to individuals' pools will fill up for the helicopters to have water.
Mayor Bass, do you have a response to that?
Yeah, absolutely. He's saying several things that are completely inaccurate. First of all, there was one reservoir that was out of commission. He is correct. 1 million years ago, it was for wildfires, but over the last 30, 40 years, it's been for drinking water. He talked about the—
All right, let's pause it right there for just a quick second. Everything that he said regarding the fact that these reservoirs were drained and empty and drinking water, like, okay, that fine if you want to have reservoirs for drinking water. Okay, I get it. We also have like Dasani now. We got bottled water now. We've got that stuff. We can probably figure out a way to be able to drink water. But even if for drinking water, what the hell are you doing draining them? If they're for drinking water, why are you draining them? Why are you draining the reservoirs? That's the first thing. You know why? Incompetence. Sheer and utter incompetence. So the number one thing you start with is you just don't drain the reservoirs, which is so shocking and mind-blowing. You're like, wait a minute, mind blown. You mean you have these gigantic things that you put water in for either A, fire prevention, or B, drinking water, or C, maybe both. I don't know, depends on the day. Maybe you don't drain them, right? Maybe you don't do that. The fact that we're having this conversation shows you the level of Democrat incompetence. And if you do drain them, fill them the hell back up. Like, what are you doing? All right, so let's get the mayor's response.
Is completely inaccurate. If that were accurate, then the planes would have been able to fly. And so the winds reached close to 100 miles an hour and the planes were unable to fly. So if there were reservoirs, if that reservoir had been open, it would not have worked. We had two other reservoirs totaling 8 billion gallons that were available. But could not fly.
Yes, she mentioned me. So she's an incredible liar. Everyone on their phones, Google it. 40 weather stations in the Pacific Palisades. It never went above 40 miles per hour. She is referencing the Altadena fire.
I have to interrupt you. No name calling,
she just
please.
lied, though.
Yeah, but no name calling.
She called me a liar.
I don't believe she did.
She said
I did not hear that.
This up.
I did not.
We're not going to debate the issue.
I love that. I love that. No name calling, okay? Don't you call names. Like, what is this, third grade? You can't call names? Don't bully.
You can say she's lying. You can't call her a liar.
Right. You're allowed to use it as a verb, not a noun, okay? So you can describe the action without saying the person is a liar. So you say, she lied. Not she's a liar. No, got it? So past tense only.
Exactly.
All right? It's a tense thing, Jared. It's like adverb adjective. It's very, you know what I mean? So
I know that you're high on Mr. Pratt's campaign. I was shocked at what a good job he did. You know that just walking into a debate is a big deal. Having a great ad, a guy in LA, like a lot of people have great ads that never go anywhere. I was shocked at how well he did.
Yeah, I mean, even just in that answer, right? Solid. Yep. Absolutely. Solid, and had his stuff together, had his facts together, using wind speeds, and I mean, great. Like, really solid.
Just held it together. Yeah, great job.
And there's more of it, which is good. So it's style and substance. He's got the substance down pat, or the style down pat, and he's got the substance, which is why this is a compelling campaign. Now, you notice there were 3 people on the stage. He made the debate along with the mayor, Karen Bass, and a woman named Nithya Raman. So Nithya Raman is a current council member in Los Angeles, or commissioner, whatever the hell they call them. She's running for mayor as well. She is there, and this is why I think he has a shot now, because she's an outright socialist. I think he's got a chance. If no one gets above 50%, there's a runoff. You could theoretically get a situation where he winds up getting into a runoff one-on-one with Karen Bass. If it's just the three of them, then it may be a problem for him. But then again, maybe not, because maybe the two of them will undercut the vote and maybe somehow he'll be able to pull this off, because they're both crazy. Karen Bass and Nithya Raman are both nuts, and he's calling both of them out, which is smart for him. So this is him calling out Nithya Raman.
Downtown is so unsafe now that they have to serve the food. All the employees have to eat inside. They can't risk going out. That's why all these beautiful restaurants are closing, because it's so unsafe. So before we require city workers to go back into any buildings, we need to enforce the laws on the street. Councilwoman Raman is talking about safety, yet when animal rescue activist Rebecca Corey came in and said the dogs are being tortured and abused on the streets of downtown, she walked out of the hearing. She doesn't care about safety. She doesn't care about anything she's talking about. At least Mayor Bass pretends to care.
Yeah, well, look, it's they don't like the cops. They don't like dealing with crime. There was a question that was asked about handing out needles to homeless people. He was the only one on the stage who said no, he wouldn't do that. Homeless encampments. Do we support those? How about that? Homeless encampments or unhoused encampments. I'll take a listen.
Treatment first. I will go below the Harbor Freeway tomorrow with her, and we can find some of these people she's going to offer treatment for. She's going to get stabbed in the neck. These people do not want a bed. They want fentanyl or super meth. These ideas cost us over $400 million to house for 70, what did you say? 3,000 people for $400 million. This is an absolute failure for both of them. They're a team.
It's a failure of epic proportions, what they're doing. And he said that, and homeless encampments in front of schools or daycare centers, would you allow that to occur? Homeless encampments. Now, the fact that we even have to debate this, think about this now. How crazy is a city? And Philadelphia is not far off. New York's not far off. That it's not a matter of whether or not you're going to have homeless encampments. You're going to have them. But should they be allowed in front of schools or daycare centers? Like a gun-free zone, a homeless encampment-free zone. You're going to have them, but where do you put them is the question. So do you limit them outside schools or daycares? Now, if I were in charge and if Spencer Pratt were in charge, the answer would be we don't have them anywhere. There are no homeless encampments. They don't exist. You give the people the help they need, you give them the treatment they need, and you get them the hell off the streets. But for the left, they believe it's some sort of basic human right. You should be able to live on the streets and live in a tent and have tent cities and all this other stuff. I mean, they find tent cities in LA. They were like excavating a bridge or something. There are people living underneath the highway in tent cities. We had those in Camden, New Jersey. They're probably still there. Tent cities. They're in Philadelphia. They're in Kensington. Democrat-run cities have homeless encampments. So the debate is not, should we have them? The debate is, where should we put them? Cut 6.
You support the ordinance that restricts encampments in front of schools or daycare centers. Mayor Bass, I'm going to start with you. Yes or no? Ms. Raman, yes or no?
I support keeping our streets safe. I did vote against the structure of this particular ordinance. And it is because at its best,
it's a yes or no.
It does not, the way this ordinance was structured,
it's no.
It does not keep our children safe. It does not keep our children safe. No,
Mr. Pratt.
It doesn't keep our children safe enough.
It's a simple yes or no question, Mr. Pratt.
What I was saying is she's fighting because she doesn't think there's a difference between 1 foot or 500 feet for kids' safety with drug addicts with machetes in front of schools.
Yes or no?
Of course, we do not want encampments in front of schools, parks, daycare.
Right. It's not that hard. She voted. She's like, well, I mean, I don't know what, like, I don't have a tape measure. I would have a ruler. I voted no because you were talking inches and centimeters and bull S. You voted no because you think that the homeless should be allowed to be anywhere they want. Even in front of schools, even in front of daycare centers, because she's crazy. Listen, I got news for you. There's a lot of this on the left right now. There's a lot of this. This idea that the homeless, the unhoused, whatever the hell they call them now, should be able to be anywhere they want to be. The fact that we're debating whether we should have homeless-free school zones, like gun-free school zones, is mind-blowing. Mind blown that I could be dropping my kids off at daycare and across the street is a homeless encampment because some of the people there voted, yes, you should be allowed to have homeless encampments outside of daycare centers. When they asked Spencer Pratt, he's like, no, of course not. That's stupid. That's crazy. Why would you even ask that? Because it's become a debate, a legitimate debate. Like, who are we to say you can't have a homeless encampment outside of a school? All right, fine. Very simple then. Should non-citizens be able to vote? Yes or no? Yes or no?
This is a yes or no question and answer. So there's an LA council member. He wants voters to decide. He is saying that non-citizens, should they be allowed to vote in local elections? Is this a yes or no, Mr. Pratt?
No.
Mayor Bass?
It depends. It's not a yes or no.
Depends on what?
Well, first of all, when you say non-citizens, it doesn't mean they're here illegal. It doesn't mean they're undocumented. They could have green cards. They could be here perfectly legal. And there's a lot of states and cities that do that on very, very local elections. We have to see what the councilman is proposing.
Councilmember Bremen.
Yeah, I would say, again, it does depend. In other places, school boards have non-citizens.
Yes or no?
Non-citizens who vote
Mr. Pratt, I have a question for you. You told NBC News.
Yes or no? Should non-citizens be able to vote? The answer is no. So if you disagree with that, then you vote for one of those other two. But when they go, well, it depends. It's blah, 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 and they're parsing language and they're this and that and the other. You know exactly what they mean. They want to make it so that people who are in Los Angeles illegally can vote. Just like they want to make it so that people who are not citizens, whether they're legal or they can vote. Hey, look, this is such a problem that statewide it's even a problem. But just to focus in on Spencer Pratt and why I think the guy's got a good shot here. His campaign has got style, as I mentioned. The ads look great. They're beautiful. They're well done. He's incorporating AI. He's also speaking directly one-on-one to the voters, moms, working people, etc. And then outside the spin room last night, or in the spin room after the debate was over last night, they asked him a question, and he did a great job. This is cut 12.
Look at the city right now. Look at what their experience has done. They don't want to talk about their experience because that would bring up what your experience living under their leadership is. All I need to do is surround myself with people who don't call in bomb threats to City Hall. The mayor's deputy mayor, when she was in Ghana, when my house was burning down, he was under house arrest because he called in a bomb threat. I just got off the phone with my potential deputy mayor, Chief Bobby Garcia from the U.S. Forest Service, right before this debate, because I didn't know if the question would come up about public safety. I said, when you retire, sir, you ready to be my deputy mayor? He said, let's talk. As in, I'm bringing in experts. My job as mayor is to just make sure our tax money is not being stolen and laundered to increase problems, which is happening right now. 4 more years, these people, another $1 billion, more drug addicts all over the street.
I mean, you got house arrest because you called it a bomb threat. Like, don't judge, dude. Who hasn't? Jared's under house arrest right now. That's why he does this show from home. If you're wondering, when you look at Evil Jared's man cave, why do you think we call him Evil Jared?
First of all, it's not a bomb threat. It was an incendiary device that I wouldn't particularly call. I mean, listen, anything can be a bomb. I was overcharged. They were just throwing the book. It was. You can't be in politics, Rich, if you don't have an occasional bomb threat to get whoever you're working for out of trouble. You think Mitch McConnell's chief of staff didn't call in a few BTs, a couple bomb threats to get him out of trouble? He got a tough vote. Can't do it today. Mysterious bomb threat came in.
I mean, Mitch McConnell probably called them bomb threats, knowing him.
I can't say who.
But they used to cocaine Mitch, IED Mitch. You know,
cocaine Mitch.
Cocaine Mitch.
If you were in a tight spot right now and we didn't have time for Jack Carr, I'll call in a bomb threat. I'll do it right now. I'm gonna get more house arrest. This place is delightful.
And that is the big story of the hour, brought to you by our buddy Dr. Mike Veneria, Veneria Dental. Go see him today for your perfect smile. VANARIA, VeneriaDental.com. 2 locations to serve you in Cinnaminson and Woodbury. He does not do house calls. So if you are on house arrest for calling in a bomb threat, you might be out of luck. But if you need a dental implant, you get a free implant consultation. So reach out to him today, veneriadental.com. All right, so let's turn to the state of wackiness of California. So Gavin Newsom, as you know, is running for president. He'll have to face off against Josh Shapiro and a bunch of other people eventually. And there'll be a new governor of California. It won't be Eric Swalwell because that creep was caught with doing all kinds of disgusting things. There's more stories coming out about him now every day, including parties at Hooters. But then again, Hooters is so G-rated. I mean, that's probably the least of his scandals. It's why it's coming out now. It's all the really juicy stuff maybe already came out. I'm not quite sure, but Katie Porter is still, for right now, the front runner in this race, even though she is the single most unlikable human being on the planet, okay? But she accidentally said the quiet part out loud last night, or the other night during the California debate, when she said that people are leaving California. Gavin Newsom has been claiming that population in California has been on the up. That's not true. California's been losing population. People are leaving and they're going to red states. And Katie Porter basically admitted that.
Go ahead. It's the job of the California governor to protect every single Californian. The sanctuary state policy is designed to make sure that our state resources, the taxpayer dollars, the public servants that we have are focusing on doing their jobs, which is not cooperating with the federal immigration authorities. These are Californians. They contribute to our economy. They pay taxes, and they're one of the only ways that our state has been growing in recent years.
There it is. They're one of the only reasons our state has been growing for years, because of illegal immigration. That's it. Because people who can leave are leaving. Many of these people can't leave. They don't have the ability. They don't have the means. They don't have they're able to cross the border into California, and then they're stuck. They don't have the ability then to go to other places. And if they went to other places, quite frankly, they might be caught and deported. So California being a sanctuary state, they can stay. But people that are here legally and have the money and can leave California, they are leaving California and they're going to where? Red states. So she just said the quiet part out loud. We need illegal immigration, and we need it to be able to sustain our population so that we don't lose seats in the House of Representatives, so that we don't lose power in the Electoral College, which is something I have been telling you for the longest time. The Democrats' ultimate plan for all of this is to make sure that they are able to offset the population loss in the blue states with illegal immigrants, so that when the red states, which are gaining all the people, the blue states are able to keep their seats where they are so that they don't lose a bunch because of the exodus of actual citizens to places like Florida and Texas and other places. All right, as we continue along the show here today, and we got a lot to get to, including our buddy Jack Carr is going to be coming up a little bit later in the show. I want to thank our friends at Bob's Little Sports Shop for being terrific friends, terrific sponsors of the show, and the best place to go for all of your Second Amendment needs. Look, Bob's is the greatest. And ladies, they've got two events coming up for you. May 17th is the first one. So let's talk about that, because if you're a mom, Mother's Day is this weekend, but your discount as a mom still applies for the Bob's Ladies Only Shoot coming up on May 17th. If you've never fired a gun before, that's okay. No problem. You can still go to Bob's, and you can still learn, and you can even borrow one of theirs. It's great. You just got to go to bobslittle.sportshop.com and sign up today. You got to learn how to protect yourself. And why not celebrate America's 250th birthday? What better way than to be able to know that you and your family are safe and protected, right? So do that today by going to bobslittlesport.shop.com. And guys, listen, best selection of firearms anywhere. Ammo, gear, coffee. In fact, they have Black Rifle coffee, and I should have brought that up with Jack Carr. But it's a really great place to go. You will love it. bobslittlesport.shop.com. Great range, NRA-certified range safety officers, 60 years in business, the best and finest people, and the best selection of firearms anywhere. bobslittlesport.shop.com. All right, so here is also from the debate in California. California gets over 60% of their oil from foreign sources. As you know, there's a whole little dust up going on in the Middle East right now. What if you had more domestic oil production in oil-rich California, one of the states that is, in fact, richest in oil? Nope, she's not having that.
Repeat the question. So would you advocate for an increase in oil production in the state? Western states point...
No,
okay, all right.
No.
No, I wouldn't. No, God, no. No, because I'm a lefty. And we only want climate. We only want solar and wind. And no, God, no. Awful. Just absolutely awful. She is the worst. She is the absolute worst, Katie Porter. One of the most unlikable human beings on the entire planet. I don't know how anyone can see that otherwise. From their closing in the debate, Democrats Xavier Becerra, Tom Steyer, and Katie Porter using those moments of the debate to fight for, among other things, men being able to compete in women's sports.
Under the California Education Code, you perform in an athletic event K through 12 based on your identification by gender. Would you change that law to match the IOC that you identify based on your birth at gender? Yes or no? Very quickly, we have 30 seconds left. Mr. Mahan?
Sorry, change which law? State law?
The current law says you identify, and that's how you participate.
Yeah, but at higher levels, I would let the leagues decide.
Yeah, okay, Mr. Becerra?
Enforce the law.
Okay, Mr. Steyer?
Allow trans athletes to participate.
Mr. Hilton?
I have a wristband that says Save Girl Sports, and I will.
Bianco, Katie Porter?
Yes, enforce the existing law.
That wraps it up for us. June 2nd.
Save girls sports. Very simple. Save girls sports. That's the bottom line. That's what Steve Hilton said. It's just amazing that the other Democrats had a different vision of that. Truly amazing. All right, some other things too besides just politics now. We got a cruise ship where we got people who are sick, and I just cannot think to myself what a worse place to be than to be stuck on a cruise ship where you can't do anything. Masks, movies, and solo deck walks, life aboard a Hantavirus hit cruise ship. Barely a month ago, they were embarking on a voyage of adventure to some of the world's most remote islands. Encounters with whales, dolphins, and penguins awaited. Landscapes of icy expanses, towering cliffs, and rolling green hills beckoned. Now they're isolating in their cabins, trapped aboard a ship anchored in the Atlantic, taking what measures they can to shield themselves from an outbreak of a deadly virus. And they're stuck on this cruise ship. And the captain had to come out and say, everybody, hey, good news, bad news. Good news is, hey, you thought your vacation was ending. Well, it's not. And the bad news is you're stuck in your cabin. You can't do anything. But you're not going back to work on Monday, right? I mean, right? Like, you know. I'm just saying, Jared, I mean, nobody wants their vacation to come to an end.
If you book a cruise, you deserve all of that. Like, that's what you get. That's the best.
You're not a big cruise. You're not a big cruise guy, are you?
Does it sound like it? The best a cruise can be is just slightly better than what those people experienced. So I feel like it was going. That you should go into it. Like, listen, when you book a flight, you go, oh, hey, maybe the flight will get delayed. And you expect the worst. It's just these people, they should have expected this. I blame them. I blame anybody that booked that cruise.
I have not done a cruise since we did our Zeoli Navy cruise to Alaska many years ago. And we had a great time, but it was a small ship. It wasn't one of these massive ships. You see some of these ships nowadays with water parks and roller coasters and theme parks. And then every now and then some big fat person will get stuck like in the tube on the, you know what I mean? So
the new ones, they look like a building fell in the water. Like they're just massive. They take up the whole skyline, like when they come in the harbor. It's crazy.
It is crazy and it's scary, and I would want nothing to do with it, but I'd rather be stuck in a water slide than get Hantavirus. I can tell you that. Probably the safest place to be. If your fat ass gets stuck in one of those slides, you know what I mean?
I mean, it's Rich. Like, look at that ship. I don't know if that's, from the CNN story. How many people is that? Like, they all deserve it. Go back to your home. Spread Hanta to the rest of us. I don't even care.
Come on.
Because I don't even associate with cruise people.
You're a vacation snob is what you are.
Oh, I'm
Cruises
so sorry.
can be all these wonderful packages.
No. It's nickel and dime. I can eat cheap buffet food at the Costco. I don't need to pay somebody to serve me pre-packaged, preservative laden cream puffs all week. Like I can just as easily do that on my own.
All right, so now we've made the Disney adults who travel without kids mad. We've made the cruisers mad. Who else are we going to piss off on this show?
I don't know why you don't have to come with me. Just because I open the door doesn't mean you need to walk through.
I feel like I need to defend you and save you from the people that are angry about.
Yes. No, I honestly, very few things I'm this passionate about. Cruising is
but
the worst.
I asked Maz the other day, and I said, after this, would you go on a cruise? He goes, this is the best time to book a cruise right now.
So
probably get the cheapest rates. So
he's getting it for half price. No.
Yeah.
No.
The cheapest time to book a cruise right now.
Remember when all those people got stranded during COVID on the cruise ships? And it was like, for a week, they were like, oh my God, this is the best. And then after a week, they were like, oh, we're eating, bugs we can find or whatever. Like, no. If you haven't learned your lesson from poop cruises, they did a documentary on the poop cruise. There is so much information to tell you to stop booking cruises.
The poop cruise one was the worst. That ship lost power and all the bathrooms backed up and it was in the hallways and people were trapped in their rooms and not good.
And yet, Rich, all of these people booked a cruise in spite of having known about that documentary.
This is the captain speaking. The good news is you have more time to look at the water. The bad news is not all of you have windows in your room. So some of you may have to turn on the television
to get some daylight in there.
I mean, it's not all those rooms have windows,
Nope.
I'm sure now you can get a free upgrade on any cruise line you want, which will include a balcony. Pretty much. I guarantee if you go online right now to Princess or Caribbean or whatever it is, you'll get a free balcony upgrade. You want to bet?
I don't doubt that. And I will also say I can't imagine what they offered these poor people to try to make them whole. But your money back is not enough.
For your inconvenience, we'd like to offer you a $50 off your $100 off your next cruise. But you must book within 7 days of leaving the ship. But that could be weeks from now. So we've got plenty of time to work on it. The latest from the World Health Organization. So whatever these liars say, I generally think of the opposite. The Hantavirus can now spread among humans. Remember, the World Health Organization told us that COVID could not spread human-to-human transmission. So I just, and China funds them and China's behind them. Could this new strain of the Hantavirus, this Andis strain or whatever it is, it spreads human to human, but could this be a weaponized bioweapon from China? I mean, listen, we've seen this before. China wants to invade Taiwan, and they also hate us. COVID came from a lab. We know that. Could they have tinkered with the Hantavirus, which used to just typically be a virus that, spread among mice? I don't know. All I know is that if the WHO says be concerned, maybe we should be, maybe we shouldn't. I just don't know who to trust these days. Take a listen.
Let me begin by outlining what has happened, what we know, what we don't know, and what WHO has done. Last Saturday, the United Kingdom notified WHO under the international health regulations of a cluster of passengers with severe respiratory illness on a Dutch-flagged cruise ship, the MV Hondius, which had traveled from Argentina to Capo Verde. So far, 8 cases have been reported, including 3 deaths. 5 of the 8 cases have been confirmed as Hantavirus, and the other 3 are suspected. Hantaviruses are a group of viruses carried by rodents that can cause severe disease in humans. People are usually infected through contact with infected rodents or their urine, droppings, or saliva. The species of hantavirus involved in this case is the Andes virus, which is found in Latin America and is the only species known to be capable of limited transmission between humans. In previous outbreaks of Andes virus, transmission between people has been associated with close and prolonged contact, particularly among household members, intimate partners, and people providing medical care. That appears to be the case in the current situation.
Okay, so with that, would you want to get on a floating petri dish, even though the captain's buffet at midnight is glorious? Just saying. I mean, I love how they make the food into the shape of animals and art and statues, and it's wonderful.
So worth it, Rich. Just for the food.
So worth it. Just saying. Come on. Mm-hmm. You know it. So they haven't found this guy, or they found the guy in what is it, Sweden, right?
Swiss. He is Swiss. Yeah, Swiss health officials.
But they're looking for all of his contacts because he got sick after he left the ship, a different ship, right?
I mean, I don't know. It's a white guy in Switzerland. How are you going to find him?
Yeah, and they need to find him and everybody that he's talked to and everybody that he's had any contact with. And good luck with that, man. I don't know. Good luck.
It's killed 3 people, too. Like, that seems fast. I don't know much about that, but could have Dr. Maz on. I don't know what a normal Hauntavirus trip is, but it seems like this thing only came back into port a few weeks ago.
All right, so what do you think? What's more realistic? Them finding this guy and all of his contacts before this thing becomes a full outbreak, or the Jeffrey Epstein suicide note is real?
Ooh.
Because I'm calling Fugazi on this. I'm calling Fugazi on this note.
You're suspicious of a note that 7 years after a guy's death they found in a graphic novel? That seems weird to you? Okay. You're not trusting shooting anymore, Rich.
It's like after the police shooting when the big fat corrupt cop on the take finds a gun. Like, oh yeah, look, it was here the whole time.
You missed it. It was just sitting right there. That's so weird.
So weird. And the serial number's fired off, and it's a little pistol, and it looks like it'd be something that go right nice in my overcoat, trench pocket, and whatnot. Strange how they missed it. I don't know. We have the picture of the Jeffrey Epstein suicide note. If you see it, it looks like something that was written by a child in a notebook, honestly, and shoved in there. That's what it looks like. It's so fake. There's no friggin' way that this guy kept the suicide note just on the off chance that one day he may decide to commit suicide so that they could prove that it really was a suicide. I mean, think about that. It's like, in case I ever need to kill myself, I want people to know that I really did. So I'm going to keep this handy suicide note with me at all,
It's also not like, goodbye, cruel world. It's like, this sucks. Everything sucks. I hate it. And then it's like, well, I mean, if you write that note and then you kill yourself, they're like, oh, it's a suicide note. But if you write that note and you keep living, everyone just thinks it's a journal entry.
Right. It's just what I write every day. Like, oh, this thing
awful.
Stinks. Or what everybody on the cruise ship is writing right now. That sucks.
Sounds like a cruise note.
I'm calling my travel agent. Costco Travel, you better answer, like that kind of a situation. We got to go to Jack Carr, our buddy, but let me tell you about Tri-County Auto, my great friends over there. They are fantastic. I love the people at Tri-County Auto. I love the great work they do. I love how they take great care of us. And I love the fact that I got a beautiful made in America Toyota minivan, the Toyota Sienna. It's a great, great car. It really is. And what I also love is that they've got Tri-County Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. So great savings on Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, including the Jeep Wrangler, which is the car that I drive. So we're really a Tri-County family. But I love the Made in America, and both cars are made in the USA. So you get to write off the interest on your taxes of the loan, which is fantastic. Plus, you'll be supporting a great dealership in Limerick, PA, close to get to from everywhere you are, from Jersey, Philly, the Main Line, Royersford. We had that debate earlier today. Anywhere, just go to tricounty.com and you'll see all their great specials. Tri-County Toyota and Tri-County Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. Say hello to the manager, Jack Donaldson, great guy. The Krieger family, great people. They care about our veterans and our first responders, and they have amazing savings for you right now. So this is the perfect time to get to Tri-County Toyota. And listen, if I'm buying a car from them, it's because they're not busting my chops and not pressuring me, and not because I have zero tolerance for that. So if you want to have a great experience where they're going to help you but not pressure you, then Tri-County's your place. All right? tricounty.com. Here it is in my hands, the newest book from the man himself. It's called The Fourth Option. And my guest, Jack Carr, the one and only, the man, the myth, the legend. How are you, man?
Great. How are you? Thanks so much for having me on.
Oh, are you kidding me? It's my honor. It's great to have you back. And I'm really psyched because we are going to be together tomorrow in Monmouth County, New Jersey, Long Branch, New Jersey. And we'll talk about how we get tickets for that. But, dude, this book is awesome. I love it because it takes place in New Orleans and you're going after the corruption. You got the Ninth Ward in there. You did it. You got a black James Bond. I don't know how you were able to pull it off, but you finally did what Hollywood couldn't do. So congratulations.
Nice. Good catch. Good catch on that line. But, hey, you know, when I see you tomorrow in New Jersey, I love New Jersey signings because it seems like every other person is a police officer or a firefighter. And I like to sit standing there and trying to figure out who's who. Usually I can pick it out pretty good. But so I love that about this. There's just so many people that live over there, live close by, that are police officers or firefighters. And then today I'm actually right from here. I'm running down the street and grabbing a bunch of boxes of books from Simon & Schuster and driving around New York to different precincts, firefighters, police precincts, and dropping off a bunch of books and saying hi. So that's pretty cool about being out here.
That's great. And the first responders love you. The cops and firefighters love you. As a son of a police officer, a retired lieutenant from the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, yeah, you got a lot of fans who are law enforcement, active and retired. And I know you're going to be talking to my buddy Paul Morrow from Fox News. Paul's a great guy. And you were hanging with Hannity last night, I saw. So right. How was the hanging with Hannity?
That was awesome. I mean, I've been on the show, but when you're on a show, it's you have a minute and a half, all very serious. And you know, 1 minute is not a lot of time to make your point, especially if the question is not something that you're prepared for. Something changes in the world right beforehand. The tone is just it's. I don't like that kind of a format. I much prefer long-form conversation. I much prefer doing this with you. And then I can say, oh, you know what I said a few minutes ago? I don't think that came out quite right. What I meant to say was X, Y, or Z. You have none of that on live TV, as you know, in a 1 minute segment, a 1.5 minute segment, another guest on there or whatever else. So it was very nice to hang out with Sean for an hour and almost 2 hours. I think we sat there, and we would have hung out a lot longer, but he had to get to his regular nightly show. So he had to zip out of there. But that's a hard-working man. That's a hard-working man. Radio, TV, and the podcast. Crazy.
Yeah, and just kind of like shooting the shit and just hanging out and talking, and you know, that's fun. Because yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I do America's Newsroom once a week, and you go all the way up there, you do the makeup, do the hair, and you're in the chair, and maybe you get 90 seconds of airtime after all that. You know what I mean? It's like,
crazy.
It's still worth doing. Don't get me wrong. I'm happy to do it, but
a lot more pressure on those. Yeah. I much prefer being able to hang out with you like this, but yeah, New Orleans, and I think it was a big mistake on this tour is that we don't have a New Orleans stop. I thought, gosh, I got to talk to my publicist about that. There should have been a New Orleans stop on this tour because the book is New Orleans, and that backdrop was so colorful. I went there in the SEAL teams a couple times, and I told myself that one day I would write a book that took place there because, and not just a few scenes, a few chapters, but the whole book essentially. I wanted it to take place in New Orleans, so that was the opportunity to do that with this book, and it really adds a lot of color to the story. I think being able to have those different areas of New Orleans pop out as characters, so it was really cool to do that.
I agree. And, you know, tomorrow night when we're together in Jersey, we're having a nice long form conversation. And we're going to take a lot of questions from the audience because you love taking questions from your readers. So there'll be a lot of that. And we'll go through, you know, the book, and I won't do any spoilers. I'm about halfway done with it myself. So I'm excited about that fact. But I have to say, what I really love about the book is, and you write this in your prologue, your epilogue, you always have for all your books, you're a Gen Xer, you're a kid of the 80s. There's a lot of 80s references in there. And it really kind of opens with a reference to Lethal Weapon, the OG Lethal Weapon with Mel Gibson and kind of the suicide theme.
Yeah, if you're a fan of Lethal Weapon, particularly the first film, there'll be a few more for you. So if you're only halfway through, there might be a few more. There's some very direct references in there. And I didn't want it to be trite. I didn't want to have that kind of a scene be trite, be something that everyone's seen in Hollywood before. And unfortunately, so many of our veterans take their lives. It's heartbreaking. But I didn't want to kind of just capitalize on that. It had to be natural. It had to be natural. Mm-hmm. So for this character to have this conflict, and it couldn't just be something that he had that from Iraq and Afghanistan. He does have that from Afghanistan in this book, but there had to be a battle within the soul, something else, and so hence the philosophers. And so in his soul, he's not just fighting these demons, particularly from this one last mission in Afghanistan. He's also fighting these demons that are in his soul, in his head, as a student of philosophy, and they're battling it out for truth, which is a lot of what philosophy is about. So I wanted to make him a much different character than James Reese. Of course, I couldn't give him the tomahawks. That's taken. That's James Reese's weapon of choice. So he has a new weapon, that regiment blade that he has in this book. So he had to be differentiated on many different levels. And really, it's the Have Gun Will Travel TV show that I used to watch with my dad back in the day in syndication. And it was a radio show first, of course, in the 50s, and then the late 50s into the 60s, it becomes a television show. And I loved that. I loved the Have Gun Will Travel, the whole theme, the whole premise of that show. I love that. And so that's really the foundation of the fourth option, with little drops, let's say, of Pale Rider, for those who are fans of that film. Shane, High Plains Drifter, Little Magnificent Seven, then like you mentioned, Lethal Weapon. There might be even a little A-Team Airwolf Magnum Equalizer from the 80s, of course, in there as well. So all of those influences really have become part of my foundation, just from being a student of these things from the fan perspective growing up. So all those books that I read, movies that I saw, television shows that I watched, those all became part of my foundation at a time when I was a very impactful time of my life. So let's say between 8 and 18, 10 and 20, I think what you do in those years really imprints on you differently than something that you do at, let's say, age 30 or 40, when you have a family and a job and a mortgage and a car payment and kids to get to soccer practice and all of those things. What you do between 8 and 18, 10 and 20, different, because you don't have those burdens and responsibilities yet. And I was very fortunate that I was reading books by the masters during those days, by Tom Clancy and Nelson DeMille and AJ Quinnell and JC Pollock and Mark Olden, David Morrell, all these guys who were really my professors in the art of storytelling. But that transcends over also into film and television. So there's a lot of those references in there for people that grew up in the 80s. And if you didn't, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry too, because it was the best time to grow up, no question about it. And I said this to you last time we were together, but an author has made it when his name is bigger than the title of the book. So Jack Carr is much bigger than the fourth option, which is the key right there, which I love. And you've earned it, man. I mean, the Amazon Prime shows, and you got another season coming out of the Terminal List. There's a potentially, I don't know if you can say, a Hollywood big budget, big movie coming out in the works, but and the merch and the latest, which now I sent it to my buddy the other day, and he's going to try to buy it, even a Jack Carr firearm.
That was crazy. They sold out in a couple of hours, almost immediately. We did 213 of them, and it's a really cool SIG P226 Mark 25 pistol, which is the pistol that I took downrange to Iraq and Afghanistan that I trained with for all those years in the military. So it's like an extension of my hand. I just love that pistol. So did a commemorative one with SIG that has a slide with Tiger Stripe coating on it to commemorate Cry Havoc and our Vietnam veterans. So had that in there, and then the grips are the same wood that is on the Winkler Tomahawk. And if you grip that SIG P226 and then grip that tomahawk the same way up near the head there by the blade, it feels very similar for those that know. So that was a pretty cool kit. Came with a tomahawk, the pistol, coin that says 213 with crosstalks on it, and a background of tiger stripe camo. And they sold out immediately. We did 213 only, and they're gone. Crazy.
And for those that don't know, why 213?
That's my Bud's class number. So we just did that. So if I'd been in Bud's class 3 something, maybe there might be a couple more left out there, but those things.
We might have had a couple more left. Jack Carr's with me, of course, former Navy SEAL and you're always a Navy SEAL for life. #1 New York Times bestselling author of Cry Havoc and the Terminalist series. Of course, the James Reese universe. This is a new book, and I want to ask you, Jack, a little bit about. So your protagonist is struggling with the pain of losing his partner in Afghanistan. Now he's on a mission to avenge the death of his partner's son in New Orleans. You've got some interesting characters in here, including a very, I would say, idealistic FBI agent, a grieving mom, and then we're going to get into the corruption of New Orleans, the police, and the concept of the fourth option, being that when all the other legal means have failed, there's a fourth and final option.
Yeah. So Chris Walker, the protagonist, and his buddy, also a former SEAL, who's it's not too much of a spoiler because it happens right in the beginning, essentially. But so he loses his friend there in Afghanistan, but they're working for the CIA at the time, and they're doing this off the books mission to save one of their assets who the CIA wants to leave behind after the U.S. leaves, so they can pass intel back and let them know what's going on in Afghanistan once we're all the way out of there. And so they need to save this guy. They're the ones that recruited him. They're the ones that have been running him. And Chris Walker's the one that talks his friend into going across the border, getting him into Pakistan to get him to Islamabad to be able to claim asylum over there and get the family out of there. So it kicks off with that. But gosh, where was I going with that? Now I'm so excited. I was so excited about telling the story. I forgot where I was going. What was your question?
No, just how it kicks off to New Orleans to avenge his partner's son's death.
So third option is the motto of the CIA's paramilitary side of the house. So that's when diplomacy and the military, there's a third and final option, essentially. And so these guys both worked there, but now he's out. He's struggling with these demons and gets pulled back, essentially given another chance at life by the widow of his teammate. And so that's where the fourth option comes from. So the police, the courts, the prison systems fail. There's a fourth and final option, but the tie-in is to what they did in the CIA's special activities, the division of the CIA that deals with the paramilitary side of the house. So, the special activities center. So those guys, were the third option, and now Chris Walker, he's the fourth.
We'll get into this some more tomorrow night in Long Branch, New Jersey. And please, to get tickets, go to officialjackcarr.com, right? Do I have the right website for that?
That's right.
Officialjackcarr.com. We'll put it up.
Yeah. Click on any of those sites.
Yeah, we'll put it up on
tomorrow.
And we'll put it on the screen. But before I let you go, I wanted to ask you, kamikaze dolphins. Did you deal with that in the Navy?
I just saw a headline.
Kamikaze dolphins.
I've been on the move. Actually, I just got back from Vietnam, taking 8 Vietnam veterans, MACV-SOG veterans, back to Vietnam for the first time since the war. So I'm going to essentially on a different time zone right now. But I did see that headline in my travels, and I didn't think too much about it other than I am a bit familiar with kamikaze dolphins. So it wasn't too shocking to see.
I love it. And, one of the things I've always loved about your books is that you point out your frustration with the military industrial complex, the people in Washington who call the shots and never get in trouble, the guy operating the drone in Arizona who doesn't get in trouble. I know the frustration too, because a few times as you're talking about Afghanistan, there's comments, subtle comments is like, why are we here, for example? And you cite the philosophers too. And you point out, how many empires have fallen in Afghanistan. Any thoughts on the current conflict with Iran that you want to share?
I mean, just that now that we're in it, there is no choice but to win this thing. The people in place now are people that were at the more tactical and operational levels over our 20 years in Afghanistan and our decade plus time in Iraq. So for me, they have this experience, they've lost friends, and now they're in a position to do it differently than it was done for us. The trust between us at the tactical level and senior level military leadership, I don't think was the strongest. I'll just speak for myself. Wasn't the strongest for me. I saw those guys go in front of Congress over and over again and say the same things over and over again. Just need more funding, need more troops, need more time. But they essentially said the same thing as the person who said it before them and the person who said it before them, and that went on year after year after year after year. So now that we're in it, let's go back to what happened in Afghanistan in August of 2021. So our enemies took lessons from that. I think there's a direct line between that and Russia invading Ukraine. Of course, China is watching very closely what happens here in Iran. After World War II, we took the burden of protecting, essentially, maintaining world order from the end of World War II up to these past few years. And that burden is on the taxpayer, and it's on our military out there. It's on our Navy patrolling the seas out there, ensuring that these trade routes are open and free. And it brought in the most prosperous decades of in world history. So we lost that a little bit. We lost a little bit of it after Vietnam. We lost a lot of it after our enemies saw 20 years in Afghanistan and said the United States does not know how to use their military effectively and efficiently. So now, this is what we have to do. We have to show the rest of the world. It's much more. It's about more than just regional stability. It's about more than gas prices. It's about more than energy prices. It's about more than the Strait of Hormuz. It's really about showing the rest of the world that the United States can still maintain this world order and can maintain these sea lanes, and we can use our military effectively and efficiently. Something that we proved we couldn't do in Afghanistan. Now we have to prove that here. And if we don't, well, China is certainly taking notes when it comes to Taiwan. They're supposed to be ready to take Taiwan by 2027. I think that's the translation from the Chinese, is that not they're going to, but they need to be prepared to by 2027. So they're taking notes on how we're dealing with Iran. So there's really no choice but to win this thing.
Well, tomorrow's going to be a great night with a really deep and extensive conversation and questions from you if you join us. So go to Official Jack Carr and get your tickets. And if you can't join us, then get the fourth option, which is coming out in just a matter of days. Pre-order it right now from the man, the myth, the legend, my friend, Jack Carr. It's so great to see you again. I'm really excited for tomorrow night, and it's an honor that you asked me to be the moderator for tomorrow night's book event. I truly was honored when you reached out to me. So I look forward to seeing you tomorrow night, my friend.
Man, thank you for doing it. Always great to see you. You are the best, and can't wait. Thank you so much for everything.
Violence erupted on the streets of New Orleans tonight. The NOPD says drug cartels are to blame. The FBI is now taking over.
All right, I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope to see you tomorrow night. Either way, thank you so much for listening to the show. Please subscribe and like it and tell your friends, tell your enemies. You are our marketing department, so we need your help to help grow the podcast each and every day. And thank you, because we are growing each and every day because of you. So please subscribe to the Rich Zeoli podcast and tell your friends. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks.
Let's go.